Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into Eugene Reviews, and it's Oscar time. Yes, I'm recording this right now on Wednesday. This should be going out either Saturday or Sunday, the big day. And yeah, we are mere hours away. If you're watching this, we are mere hours away from the 94th Annual Academy Awards. Now this is like the Super Bowl, the end all be all for movie awards, you know, year round. And as a big movie fan, this is kind of the most anticipated thing on the calendar year. Now, lately, the Oscars have had controversies regarding certain processes in regards to its shows, certain nominations. You know, there's been divisiveness, there's been parallels, but it's still the Oscars, the rich history of the noteworthy films and memorable masterpieces that they bestowed their awards upon. So, it's still something I gotta look forward to. This year, they finally got 10 nominees, you know, and not 9, 8, 7 or anything like that. They went full-fledged 10 nominees, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Good in the sense, a lot more opportunities. Bad, I gotta watch 10 freaking movies. Oh my goodness. Last year I did my predictions for the 93rd Annual Academy Awards, and I don't remember off the top of my head what my percentage in regards to accuracy was for it. I'm gonna put it right here. Now let's see this year if I could do much better. I literally had notes for everything when it came to nominations and stuff like that. So right now I'm going to try to sift through all the awards that I can so I can talk about the Best Picture nominations and predictions. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just say what I think is going to win. Best Live Action Short. Best Documentary Short. Best Animated Short. Best International Film. Best Documentary Film. Best Original Song. Best Original Score. Best Visual Effects. Best Sound. Best Makeup and Hairstyling. Best Film Editing. Best Costume Design. Best Cinematography. Best Production Design. Best Animated Film. Best Adapted Screenplay. Best Original Screenplay. Best Supporting Actor. Best Supporting Actress. Best Actor. Best Actress, and Best Director. Alright, now that I've kind of sifted through all of my predictions, let's go ahead and get to the 10 nominees and explain why they got nominated, why I think they'll win, and my overall ranking, and who I believe will end up being the victor and the chosen winner for this year's Best Picture. Alright, the first film nominated for Best Picture this year is Belfast, and it's directed by Kenneth Branagh, who also did films like Thor, Murder on the Orient Express, and just recently Death on the Nile. Now, it's a semi-biopic, biographical film, as it highlights more so the upbringing of Kenneth Branagh. It highlights this family, and in particular this young boy, the innocence of this young boy, and his life during the times of the Troubles in Northern Ireland, which is a religious Civil War-esque time of hardship and altercations and war. Just a bad time overall. And it stars actors such as Jamie Dornan from 50 Shades of Grey, Dame Judi Dench, and Ciarán Hinds. Both Dench and Hinds are nominated for respective awards for, I believe, Supporting Actor and Supporting Actress. The majority of the film takes place in black and white, but I do like the periodic scenes in color. And I like how those particular scenes highlight a quote-unquote fantasy, a dream, whereas black and white highlights the reality. Very holistic upbringing type of film. I think, you know, Kenneth Branagh has done tremendous jobs directing films as of late, and you know, this was really personal for him. Obviously, this was, you know, a semi-biographical type of film for him, and I can see why the Oscars, you know, highlighted this film as a part of their Best Picture category this year. The second nominated film for Best Picture this year is Kodak. Now, Kodak is the only film in this category this year that was only released on Apple TV+. The film follows this young high schooler with a passion for singing, but is a child of deaf adults, which is what Kodak stands for. Troy Kotsur, who is nominated for Best Supporting Actor, really kind of hits it home with this performance, and I think probably the one to take it home in regards to Supporting Actor. I think that the story is eye-opening and kind of reaches out to that certain demographic where it's a very, very wholehearted, very lighthearted upbringing type of film. Brings awareness and I think a good representation of that particular demographic. And I can see why the Oscars will want to put that in their Best Picture category this year. Overall, the film was really, really nice. This was probably the more favorite film, if not, my favorite film of all 10 films in this category this year. Yeah, it's been picking up a lot of momentum as of late. I think that with everything kind of transpiring over the past few weeks, there is strong possibilities for this to win the big one this Sunday, actually in a few hours. Next film nominated for Best Picture is Don't Look Up. All right, here we go. Don't Look Up basically follows astrologist scientists played by Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence, who discovered that a meteor is going to hit Earth. Now, as they try to warn people of the impending danger, it's not really being taken seriously, from the lowliest of citizens all the way to the President of the United States, played by Meryl Streep. And it's directed by Adam McKay, who's also done films like Anchorman, as well as another Best Picture nominated film, The Big Short. And he's been known to really kind of make satirical black comedy type of films that highlight a lot of social commentary. And in this particular film, the quote-unquote meteor that's going to hit Earth is kind of an allegory to how we treat climate change. With that highlighted, I think I can see why the Oscars put a Best Picture nod for this particular film. It's an agenda-driven film, and I know it treads waters where that's why it was so divisive this year. And listen, I enjoyed the film. I really liked the film. I thought it really did get a bit too close to the nose in regards to really the commentary overall for this film. They want to highlight this film whether or not, critics love it or not. It is what it is. And I will tell you what. Don't be surprised if this film wins Best Picture. I'll tell you that right now. The next film nominated this year for Best Picture is a film called Drive My Car. Drive My Car is a Japanese language film that's also being nominated for Best International Film. Now, when you put a movie such as that onto the Best Picture category, almost 9 times out of 10, that should win the International Film category. And I'd be surprised if they didn't. But The Worst Person in the World, another foreign language film that's being nominated, is gaining some traction. So that wins and Drive My Car doesn't, but Drive My Car was nominated for Best Picture. What was the point of that? But anyways, this is a very long, lengthy film that highlights grief, love, and understanding and acceptance. And I really did like the inclusion of multiple languages, as this kind of highlighted a playwright who's grieving over the death of his wife, but he's also in the process of making this new play that involves multi-language, multilingual artists and performers. You've got Korean Sign Language individual, you've got Filipino, you've got Chinese, Taiwanese, Japanese. I like the diversity in regards to the languages that it highlights in this film. Overall, it's a very long and slow burn kind of film, and one that I think the Oscars wanted to kind of give that nod, to highlight, to give that representation, and rightfully so. I mean, I think Drive My Car, while it was a bit long and lengthy, there is a beauty to it. There is an understanding to it. I can see why the Oscars lean towards them getting the Oscar nomination for Best Picture. And it's even getting Best Director recognition too. Ryusuke Hamaguchi getting nominated for Best Director. So it's making strides. It's doing something right. So Drive My Car may not be worldly known, but I think it's going to make strides this year whether it wins or not. So it's important that it got nominated. And I'm happy that I got a chance to watch that film. Next film nominated for Best Picture is Dune. Dune is directed by Denis Villeneuve, who made films such as Prisoners, as well as Blade Runner 2049, a very, very, very underrated sequel. And this is the sci-fi darling. This was the spectacle Best Picture nomination. Not only in scale in regards to its effects, but also to its cast. Timothy Chalamet, Zendaya, Josh Brolin, Oscar Isaac, Jason Momoa, Rebecca Ferguson, Stellan Skarsgård, Dave Bautista, Javier Bardem. This is a who's who in regards to cast members and ensemble. This is just a visual taste and treat. I mean, if you watch this in theaters, which it should be watched in theaters, you can't help but be mesmerized by just this sheer tour de force in regards to its overall visuals. And I think this is like the eye candy in regards to nominations. This is the film like, oh yeah, that film, that big scale film, that's being nominated for Best Picture. And to keep note, this film is a part 1 of potentially 2 or 3 films, so it doesn't feel like a complete film per se. So it might have that disadvantage to them in regards to winning. But you know, the nomination, of course, it's got to be recognized for just the sheer brilliance of direction, of vision, of cast. I mean, it had everything. Next film nominated for Best Picture this year is King Richard. King Richard follows Richard Williams, the father of Serena and Venus Williams, as they explore really the upbringing of the famed tennis sisters and really kind of the lengths that he went to train them, to mold them, and to really protect them in the long run. Played by Will Smith, who really just commandeers this film. I enjoyed this. This was probably my second favorite film of the entire list of Best Picture nominations this year. You know, this was deep. I think that, you know, having someone like Will Smith kind of take over like this, it really does bring it up a scale or two. I think that's why it got the Best Picture nomination, just for the sheer brilliance of performance. I think not just Will Smith, but the young girls who played the Williams sisters, and even the lady who played Richard's wife. I apologize if I botched the name. Anjanou Ellis? I hope I got that right. Who's even nominated for Best Supporting Actress. So, as you can see, it's a very, very performance-driven film. While the narrative is good, don't get me wrong, I think it was more so highlighted by the performances from their leads and their supporting actors. So I see why, you know, it got the Best Picture nomination, and rightfully so. Next film nominated for Best Picture is Paul Thomas Anderson's Licorice Pizza. This is an original PTA tale taking place in the backdrop of early 70s San Fernando Valley type of vibe. Typical setting of a Paul Thomas Anderson film, if I may say. It follows this quirky yet intimate relationship between a 15-year-old boy and a 25, 28-year-old woman. And yeah, initially it's a bit awkward and a bit cringy, but then again, that was the 70s. That's what it was like. There's a bunch of notable things that are very, very derogatory and, you know, just overall kind of cringeworthy that you just have to say to yourself, that's what happened during that time. If you took away the authenticity of that, then, you know, what would become of it? And Paul Thomas Anderson is a notable director that's had accolades, you know, for many, many years. So having him make such an original tale like this, of course the Oscars are going to pick up on it. Of course it'll probably get him that Best Picture nomination, which it did. As far as the win, I don't know about that, but seeing Licorice Pizza, seeing just how, in regards to the portrayal of that kind of setting and that kind of era, I think I see why the Oscars gave it the nod. I mean, Alana Haim and Cooper Hoffman, who's Philip Seymour Hoffman's son, there's a genuine, you know, chemistry in regards to those two. So I think that's what kind of got me to finish the film. It's a good film overall, and I see, like the other films previously and after, why it got the Best Picture nomination. Next film nominated for Best Picture this year is Nightmare Alley. This is directed by Guillermo del Toro, who won recently for The Shape of Water a few years back. And now he's back with this remake. Little do people know, this is a remake, and it stars another ensemble cast with people like Bradley Cooper, Toni Collette, Willem Dafoe, Rooney Mara, and of course Ron Perlman, who's no stranger to Guillermo del Toro. Nightmare Alley showcases this one individual's illusionist magician trick that takes him to places that are far beyond his dreams, as well as something that he probably can't contain. Kind of like how Drive My Car was, I think this film was a slow burn kind of film. I do dig really the story and how it kind of went about, and overall just how beautiful the film looks. Guillermo del Toro makes exquisite films that just appease the eyes. Like, that just heightens up my sense of sight whenever I see a Guillermo del Toro film. And it really is exquisite in regards to the costume, the makeup, the set pieces. It's, you know, it really is just an illustrious type of film. Next film nominated for Best Picture is The Power of the Dog. Power of the Dog takes place in early 20th century in rural northwest United States. I'm gonna say around Wyoming, I believe. I apologize if I botched that. This follows the story of this rebellious renegade cowboy that just ruins his brother's relationship with his wife, and the wife's son and the relationship that he has with him. It's a very taboo kind of film, and I think, you know, there will be comparisons of this film to other films that highlight cowboys. I think Benedict Cumberbatch does great in this, and as well as Cody Smith-McPhee, as well as Kirsten Dunst, as well as Jesse Plemons, and all four of those actors got nominated for Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actors. So once again, like King Richard, a very performance-driven film. I do like the setting and the backdrop of how this film was shown. And for Jane Campion to get another Oscar nomination, you know, ever since she got one for The Piano so many years ago, now to have it for this, that's pretty freaking awesome. This is your kind of Oscar-nominated type of film. It's been getting momentum as of late. Right now, I feel like it fizzled out a bit, but who knows? Maybe it might take it all in a few hours. And the 10th and final film nominated for Best Picture this year, West Side Story. And this is a remake directed by none other than the GOAT himself, Steven Spielberg. Ansel Elgort, Rachel Zegler, Ariana DeBose, even Rita Moreno, who was in the original West Side Story, all in this film. I mean, it's Steven Spielberg. I mean, that speaks Oscars already. And to have him direct it, and then just the way the film kind of flows, it's already a nomination in itself. I do like the choreographies. I do like the dance numbers and sequences and songs. It feels like your typical type of musical film. It's more modernized. I think Steven Spielberg adds his own flair to it. And yeah, I mean, West Side Story that won many years ago, and for it to get nominated this year, it's still got that flair, and I think it's a good strong contender for Best Picture. I don't know if I would give it to it, but I mean, it's Spielberg. You never know what could happen with Spielberg. And it's a musical. The fact that Steven Spielberg decided he wanted to do a musical, he's just flexing right now. He's just flexing his muscles. All right, we've gone through all 10 nominated films for Best Picture and described it as much as I can for a Wednesday night. And now I'm going to share what my favorite films are from this bunch, as well as what I think the Oscars will pick as Best Picture. Not me, the Oscars. So I really did my homework this year and tried to see if I could watch all of these films, and luckily I did. I saw Drive My Car last night. That was the final film. And I gotta say, I'm not sure. I really don't know who can win this year. There's no clear-cut winner for me. It's not as unanimous as I think it'll be. Not like last year. You know, Nomadland was getting so much momentum from even before 2021, you know, late 2020. It was already getting momentum. It was already getting praise, and it was already clear that it was going to win. This year, I don't know who's going to win, because the first few months of the year was this, and then now with, you know, the polls closing recently, this film was getting momentum. It really is anyone's game to some extent. The order of films from least favorite to most favorite are as follows for me. Drive My Car. Sorry, I apologize. It's a lengthy film, and I appreciate what it did and the theme that it presents, but it was just too long and just not completely for me. Power of the Dog, Nightmare Alley, Licorice Pizza, Belfast, Dune, West Side Story, Don't Look Up, King Richard, and my favorite film of the year, Kodak. And that's just me. Once again, that's just my ranking for favorite films of the 10 that are nominated. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and rank from least likely to the winner for Best Picture based on what I think the Academy Awards will go for. Not me, the Oscars, the Academy Awards. Based on their voting system, based on their committee, this is who I think will win Best Picture. The least likely to win Best Picture for me, and I apologize, but I don't think this one will win Best Picture, even though it got nominated, is Dune. It's one of those eye candy sci-fi visual films and treats that everyone's gonna say, oh, I saw that film, yeah, that's nominated for Best Picture, that's awesome, it's nominated for Best Picture. Just to bring that demographic, to bring that crowd in to invest more in that category. Do I think it's gonna win? Do I think the Oscars are gonna make it the winner? Probably not. And also too, as I mentioned before, it's not a complete film. It's one of maybe 2 or 3 films, so it's not complete yet. It does well for the story that it does tell, but it's not complete, so there's the disadvantage to that. Just above that, King Richard. Listen, it's a nice film. It was my second favorite film of this category, but I just don't think the Oscars will put this as the winner, being that I feel it's more power driven in its performance. Will Smith just takes it home, and this is his award to win. I think he takes Best Actor. Really, this is Will Smith's year. But as far as a complete film, King Richard has a few hiccups every now and again, and I enjoyed it, but I just don't think the Oscars is going to give it the Best Picture nomination. At least they're not going to give it the Best Picture win in comparison to the other nominees that are on this category. Just above King Richard, Nightmare Alley, it was good for the most part. I think it fizzled out probably towards the end of 2021. It was getting a lot of momentum when it came out, but I think once the film came out, it just kind of slowly downgraded. And while it was a good film, I just think it didn't captivate audiences or critics for a long burn. It was just a quick flash in the pan. Still a good movie, but I don't know if it'll give it, Best Picture. I don't think the Oscars will give it Best Picture, to be honest. Just above Nightmare Alley, Licorice Pizza. Say what you want to say about the derogatory nature or the divisiveness in regards to certain scenes or certain portrayals in this film. Paul Thomas Anderson, with the reputation he has and being able to really showcase such original stories and such original tales, that's why it got the nomination, but it's not strong enough to win, at least not compared to the other films nominated this year. It was good at first, getting a lot of good praises in regards to film festivals and early reviews, but I just don't think it'll get that Best Picture, at least all of the votes for Best Picture. Just above Licorice Pizza is Belfast. I do like just how personal this was for Kenneth Branagh, and really the usage of black and white along with color, because that was exquisite in itself. And it's heartwarming, it has innocence, and it just has, a really nice feel to it. I think it's in that middle bunch where I feel like it's not going to win, but then again, it's not completely disowned. I think if everything's right, it could potentially win, but I wouldn't put my bet on it. Right in the middle bunch where I don't think it'll win, but then again, I don't think it'll be completely lost, is West Side Story. It's a remake from a film that won so many years ago. It's got arguably the greatest filmmaker of all time, Steven Spielberg, attached to it. There's so much to it to where it's like, if the stars aligned, if your zodiac sign was correct, if you won the lotto, if everything lined up perfectly, then there is a chance West Side Story would win. That's why I put it in the middle bunch. But like I said, it's not a clear-cut winner for it to win, but then again, it's not completely disowned and completely disregarded as something that wouldn't win. There's a little bit of chance to it. Now we get into the latter half of films that I think would get some momentum as of late to win Best Picture. The fourth likely film to win Best Picture, I think, would be Drive My Car. I think with the Oscars agenda and their overall wanting an inclusion and representation, I think would be a little bit of a momentum shift, a paradigm shift, in which this kind of film would get a little bit more eyes and ears to it, and more recognition, if I may add. Parasite was able to do it so many years ago. I think Drive My Car has that same kind of momentum. While not the same amount of momentum, it is the same kind. The third likely film to win Best Picture, now hear me out here, the third likely film to win would be Don't Look Up. Now listen, it doesn't have a good rating on Rotten Tomatoes, but forget Rotten Tomatoes. The Oscars gave this the nod. The Oscars put this agenda-driven film in Best Picture. Don't be surprised that it wins Best Picture in a few hours. This is a film that highlights an allegory of climate change, something that's been a driving force for Hollywood for so many years, bringing awareness to climate change. I would not be surprised if the voters decided to give it to Don't Look Up. It's ridiculous to say, but I think it has a little bit more of an advantage than you would think. So I'll just say, don't count out Don't Look Up. I think it's something that may surprise us. It could, and we'll just see from there. The number 2 most likely film to win Best Picture, and one that I felt like just lost its momentum at the last portion of this run, is The Power of the Dog. The Power of the Dog got a lot of awards and acclaims for the better part of the last few months. But going into March, I feel like that kind of slowed down a bit. And it's not necessarily because people didn't like Power of the Dog. I think they just saw the other film, which I ranked as number 1, and they decided to go with that one. I wouldn't be surprised if Power of the Dog wins Best Picture, but I just feel like as of late, the momentum shift. And it's not like the voting closed back in January. Voting just closed this past Tuesday. So all the momentum that's happened in March and February in regards to The Power of the Dog, as well as the other film that I feel like will win Best Picture, there were shifts to there that I think the Oscars saw and said, okay, we're gonna go ahead and do this one. We're gonna go ahead and go this route. So that's why I think, being that the voting closed so late and how much has changed since then, I think that's why The Power of the Dog falls to number 2. Had they closed the vote in January, I think Power of the Dog would have definitively won. But since there's been a lot of time between January and this past Tuesday, I think this next film is going to win Best Picture. And finally, the number 1 film, the most likely to win Best Picture, happens to be also my favorite of the 10 nominees, Kodak. Kodak's been getting so much momentum this past March. It's almost safe to say that the Oscars are seeing this, and they're seeing these previous awards like the SAG Awards, like the Directors Guild, Writers Guild, all saying and praising Troy Kotsur, the supporting actor in this film, as well as praising just the overall tale of Kodak. I think that's what's ultimately going to get them the win. Once again, had voting closed in January, I would have said Power of the Dog, easy. But everyone is now taking notice of Kodak, especially in February, especially in March. And now awards like SAG, WGA, DGAs are giving their big awards to Kodak, and now it's giving the Oscars and their voters this notion, Kodak should win Best Picture. So, with that being said, since voting closed just this past Tuesday, and all the momentum that's come between the beginning of March to now, that's why I'm leaning towards Kodak. And yeah, it happens to be my favorite film, but I think that's what the direction the Oscars are going to take. And listen, don't be surprised if I'm completely wrong. Like I said, there is no clear-cut winner, at least in my eyes, of who should win this year. These films have been good. These films have been diverse. These films have different tastes and flavors. And it's really going to be interesting to see how the Oscars sway in regards to who will get the golden statue at the end of the night. And those are my picks for every category for the Oscars this year, including my ranking for Best Pictures. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Let me know what you think would be the winner for Best Picture. We're just mere hours away from the big show. I'm eager for it, and while I may not agree with them, putting a few of their awards on pre-shows or red carpet specials and not highlighting them as part of the main show, I may not agree with that, but I'll still stick for the Oscars. That's kind of the Super Bowl for movies, and I'm a big movie guy, so I'm eager for this. So I hope you guys tune in on ABC when it shows. I think around 6 Central, 5, 6 Central, 7 Central. I don't even know. But anyways, did you guys get a chance to watch the films too? Let me know what you think about it. And like, share, subscribe, comment, all that hot stuff. Anything and everything will be awesome. Be on the lookout for more videos. I'm doing more so reels on Instagram, just because with everything in life going on. But I needed to do this Oscar special video, so I'm happy that I got this out. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for all the support and all of the likes, the comments, so on and so forth. Much appreciated. You have no idea how much it means to me. And yeah, let's keep it up. Hopefully I can do more videos with all the movies that are coming out this year and other special things. But until then, Eugene signing off for another episode of Eugene Reviews. Be sure to hit the bell notification too to be notified for any and all new content for Eugene Reviews. Yeah, thanks again, and I will see you guys again very soon for another episode of Eugene Reviews. And look forward to seeing you guys again. Thank y'all. Love y'all.